Hi, welcome to the annual update, Churches Together in Hitchin. I'm Kieran, Director of Phase. Now, you don't need to tell you how difficult this past year has been for everybody, whatever age or stage you find yourself at. With lockdowns, the pandemic, being isolated, not being able to be around family or friends, it's been a huge challenge to children and young people. Phase have been designing bespoke programs and support resources for children, young people, families and schools, with the aim of building their well-being, helping them thrive as best as they can in challenging situations. Over this year, the work of Phase has been so critical to the lives of children and young people across our town.
Over the past year, Phase have had to deliver our support both virtually and in person. In person, we've been able to do one-to-one mentoring in primary schools and in secondary schools. We've run support groups, particularly for those suffering with anxiety, which has been huge over the past 18 months. We've also offered loads of support with transition for Year 6 students and even run extra transition support programs after school. And we've also been able to help out with summer schools to help those Year 6s to settle into their new secondary school. One of the young people shared with us that those transition support groups have given them hope for life moving forward and made them so excited about the move up to secondary school.
Over the past year, Phase have been developing a whole host of virtual programs to support the well-being and resilience of children and young people across Hitchin. It's been exciting knowing that thousands of children and young people have been using those, being used in both the primary and the secondary schools. But not just that, but these free resources are being used up and down the country via our networks and other schools that have been using our Let's Talk resources. We've been receiving emails and social media comments from children, young people, parents and school staff, how grateful they are that these resources are being made freely available for them to use. One of the key things that we've been doing since the lockdown started is virtual mentoring. Since March 2020, the team have been delivering virtual mentoring sessions, giving support, hope and time for children and young people to talk about how they're doing, to actually have a friendly face to share with, whether they're just needing a different person to talk to that's not inside their home, or whether they're really struggling with things like anxiety or social pressures from friends or not knowing how to relate to those around them. Virtual mentoring has been a lifeline. Recently we received an email from a mum of one of our virtual mentees. That story gave us hope and reminded us how important this support and resource is. And as we move into normal life, this is one of those programs that we'll be keeping.
All I can really say is that without Phase's help in the last year, I don't think we would have made it through what has been the most challenging time in our lives. Our child was struggling with a lot of issues before COVID-19 had even been discovered. It's difficult to say how much repeated lockdowns, homeschooling and other life events have added to an already confusing situation, but throughout these tough times and despite being under the umbrella of CAMS, the most consistent help we've had throughout has been from the Phase team. Phase has worked one-to-one with one of my children, and the conversations that the staff and my child have improved their self-esteem and their mood. Having someone who will listen to whatever they need to talk about without judgment on a regular basis has just really benefited them, and knowing that they'll have that opportunity to open up or just talk about their area of interest has helped them feel valued and validated.
Over 430 mentoring sessions have been delivered in this past academic year. 2/3 of those were face-to-face.
63,000 people have engaged with our online material.
Over 60 videos have been produced by the Phase team, helping children and young people think about their well-being and resilience to help them cope through this pandemic.
Support groups delivered both virtually and in person.
Nearly 50 children have been taken through our brand new transition support programme as they make that journey from primary school to secondary school.
Over 3,000 people have listened to our parents' podcast. Are you one of them? So where are we heading? We've all had to adapt over the pandemic, and we recognise that a lot of the new skills or the new things that we've tried to do have worked out really well. We want to keep the good that we've gained, and so we want to continue with a combination of both in-person and virtual, using the best strategy for each individual situation. We also want to continue to equip parents and give them the tools to support their children. We recognise that all adults have their part to play in building resilience and increasing the well-being of children and young people, whether that's through parent sessions, resources, our parents podcast, or all the other things that we're doing.
At FAYS, we want to use our network to provide programmes, resources and support for children, young people, schools and families. We recognise that there's going to be a whole range of issues that children and young people are going to face that we're not currently equipped to deal with, but yet using the power of our networks, the expertise in those we know, to be able to provide that support when it's needed, free of charge to schools, free of charge to children and young people. Because at the heart of everything we do, we want to see children and young people thrive.
Hi, it's good to be with you again. By way of introduction, my name is Jeremy Rackham and I'm the Chair of Trustees of FAYS. Clearly this year and the previous year have been extremely challenging for our schools, and as FAYS we've had to adapt to the work we are doing. So much of what we did at the beginning was, in the new COVID era, was remote and virtual, and that's been a valuable process. But now we've managed to move to much more in-person activity with our schools, which is more encouraging, but also now into this new hybrid working where we have both virtual tools and capabilities that we built, as well as doing our face-to-face work. But it's been a really challenging and exciting time for FAYS as we've worked through those new stages of how we do our work. So, we continue to be super focused on our schools, young people and also families who found it so difficult during this time. But just really want to say what a massive help and support all of you have been. Anyone who's been volunteering, giving, sharing, understanding how our work has been developing, praying for us, and a huge thanks also to all of our staff, all of our volunteers who are helping, and all of our Board of Trustees. Please keep supporting us, keep thinking about us as we move to a new way of working, and just a massive thank you for everything you've done for us.
Thank you for all the support you've given to FAYS over this past year. We are so grateful. We really appreciate everything you've done for us. But we're back again asking you to fill the gap, to give, act and pray. If you can, we'd love you to consider becoming a FAYS partner and giving to us regularly to help us support the work that we're doing with children and young people across this town in primary schools and secondary schools. We're asking you to act. So much of what FAYS does runs on our amazing volunteer team, and perhaps you're somebody who could help us. You could become part of that volunteer team. There's so many different things that need to be doing, both in school and outside of school. So if you've got some time, some skills and some energy, we'd love to hear from you. And finally, pray. We really believe that prayer changes things. And so we're asking, if you don't already receive our regular prayer guide, please drop us a line, sign up, speak to your FAYS rep. We would love you to stand with us in prayer. Prayer is the key to everything we're doing. And so we ask you to fill the gap by give, act and pray.
Host an event, whether it's a coffee morning, a dinner party, or whatever works for you is going to really help us. Invite FAYS to speak. We'd love to come to your church, to your home group, or any other community that you're a part of, and share some of the work that we're doing. And finally, share our resources. They've been used by thousands of people already, and they're all for free, and they're there to be used. So head over to our website, send them to a friend, or use them for yourself.